So you may have seen recently that some students from Obuasi SHS won a competition by building a machine that is used to filter out waste and excess fluids from the blood.
Now, what do you have here?
Please, this is a solar-powered homemade dialysis machine.
And what is it about? I mean, how did it come about?
So please, when a person's kidney gets injured or diseased from an accident or maybe from a disease like nephritis, and the kidney can no longer perform its function, then the nephrologist will opt for a dialysis treatment to get those waste substances out of the body.
These are just high school students, teenagers, they are kids. But on the other hand, most of the projects that come out from our universities are, you can take a look. Mechanized wheelbarrows, fufu pounding machines, or milling machines.
But for me, I feel like big 2024, we should advance past this. Because our education system is so bad that you they do wheelbarrow and then they give you round of applause.
So the question has to be asked, why is this the case? When high school students are creating life-saving machines, university students who spent 4 years reading engineering come out with products or projects like this one.
You gonna explain tire. You go explain because no evidence.
Is it a problem with the university system? Are the students just lazy, or there's something much deeper that needs to be addressed? Today we are going to be talking about how and why universities keep producing what most will consider as outdated machines, and the high schools are making much advanced modern technology. But before we get into that, remember to like the video, subscribe, and turn post notifications on for weekly videos about interesting topics, events, and ideas. Once again, my name is Francis OF, and let's get into the video.
You gonna explain tire.
So at face value, when you're looking at this, it doesn't really make much sense, right? Because these kids in the secondary schools do not know as much as the engineering students do. But somehow they are managing to use their limited knowledge to create much advanced technology. And so you'll be left wondering if it is something to do with the universities or the engineering students themselves. But to get to your answer, we need to understand a few things. First, we need to understand what the final year design projects are. In my experience at KNUST, the final year design projects are not about going viral or getting any type of fame. It is an academic work that needs to be performed at the end of every engineering student's school life. These are exactly like assignments and exams. With assignments and exams, the questions are given to you and you provide answers to them. And in most cases, that is how projects or final year design projects work in universities. So in my final year at KNUST, my project was to work on a hammer mill that could be suitable for small scale to medium scale industries in Ghana. Some were also working on an assistive platform that could help disabled people mount buses at bus stops. And that was actually a project that the members of that group decided to work on. But more about that in a bit. So you can already tell the different type of projects that people work on during their final year. So let's talk about why most of the projects we get from our universities in Ghana seem outdated or less innovative. Well, it starts with how the system works. So in your final year, you will be grouped into teams based on your performance and assigned to a lecturer as your supervisor. And in most cases, this supervisor will be responsible for the project you work on. So they will give you a topic, then you will have to go research, brainstorm, and come up with a solution to the problem you're solving. And normally, these topics that the supervisors will give to the students are research areas the lecturers are interested in. It may also be projects they may have previously worked on or something they are passionate about. In most cases, the students do not bring forward ideas that they want to work on as their final year project. But on rare occasions when they do, if it's feasible and their supervisor is interested in working with them on that project, then they'll be given the go-ahead to work on that. So whether a project topic will be given to you by a lecturer or it will be something you've always dreamed about working on, there are three major obstacles every engineering student at KNUST faces, which significantly affect the quality of their projects. One, funding. Most of the projects that students work on at KNUST and in many other tertiary institutions in Ghana are self-funded. Every cost will come from their pockets. So if it's going to be a 3D printed project, or they will have to go out and buy parts for their project, everything comes from their pocket. And from what I know, an average final year project can cost anywhere between 5,000 to 10,000 cedis. So that raises a lot of problems. What if you have a very good idea but you cannot fund it? It means you have to scale it back or choose something entirely different, which might not be what the students want to work on. And because of this funding issue, students will not be able to push the boundaries on what is possible in innovation at the tertiary level. The second thing is supervision. And at that point, after university, since you will be moving into the real world, you should be able to solve problems on your own. And that is the same attitude towards final year design projects. You will get some supervision from your supervisor or whoever, but in most cases it will be limited because these supervisors are normally handling numerous groups. Some of them may be studying to finish their doctorates, others may be involved in some very different things that will not give them enough time to give the students the attention that they require. So in most cases, when the students are not proactive, they end up creating a subpar project. And thirdly, motivation. At the end of the 4-year period, most engineering students are burnt out. All they want to do is to finish this project and graduate. And because these projects are treated like academic work, there's no incentive other than scoring high marks for students to work extra hard on their projects to create something groundbreaking for the school or the country at large. So in a lot of situations, these projects are just considered as one final hurdle to be crossed to get to the finish line. So this lack of support and external recognition, like industry recognition and funding, makes it hard for students to push boundaries. And the result, projects feel like more academic work that needs to be done and gotten over with, rather than something that is supposed to help them express everything they have learned into a physical, tangible machine that is beneficial to society. Now let's flip the script and talk about senior high schools or secondary schools that are doing much better than the tertiary institutions in Ghana in terms of innovation. It comes down to the three things I just talked about: incentive, motivation, and supervision. After all, that kidney dialysis machine was not created in a vacuum. It wasn't a project that was given to the students, but it was kind of a school project. In most cases, all the innovations that you are going to see from senior high schools are part of a competition. I don't think there's any course or subject in secondary school that is about designing machines. If there's any, please do all to make me know, because when I was in high school, there wasn't anything of that sort. And because it is mostly a competition, a lot of work and effort has to go into it, not just from the students, but from the school as a whole. Let's take the STEMnovation as an example. This is a competition where over 200 schools compete every year since 2022 to solve real-world problems. So let me tell you why high school students and their projects shine. One is the incentive. As I mentioned, this is a competition, so there are significant rewards at stake, like cash prizes, recognition, and even funding for the schools. Because of this, the entire school has to come together to find the smartest people who can work on the most innovative project together with some teachers and coaches. And that leads us to another thing: team effort and supervision. Unlike in universities where the students have to figure out most of the things on their own, in the high schools, I believe the students and their teachers work hand in hand to refine ideas and make the project as good as possible. And this will obviously make a much better project. And thirdly, the funding. This is definitely not a self-funded project. This will be something sponsored by the schools or some other external sources. So because of the significant amount of money being invested in this, the students will be able to produce quality product. So this creates a highly supportive environment where students are allowed to think outside the box. And the results, well, the results speak for themselves. So I hope you now understand why we get the type of projects we get from universities and high schools. It stems from very different factors, which we've discussed, and some more I wasn't able to discuss in this video. Imagine a world where the incentives that were given to these high school students were also invested into tertiary institutions in Ghana. I believe that if that were the case, we would have a lot of good things to say about our tertiary institutions when it comes to innovation. And we may even be able to unlock the full potential of Ghanaian engineering students and produce innovations that make a difference. So what do you think? Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments. Should universities adopt a more competition-driven approach to projects, or is the current system fine as it is? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel, and turn post notifications on for more videos every so often. I'm Francis OF, and I'll see you another time. Take care. Bye.